The Way Beyond the Gate. In a forgotten village nestled between ancient mountains, a boy named Kale was born under the eclipse of twin moons. From a young age, he was drawn to silence. The rustling of leaves, the hush between wind gusts, the moment right before sunrise. The elders said he was marked by the old path, destined to walk the way of awakening. Kale's life began simply. He tilled soil with his father, helped his mother boil herbs, and listened to the parables whispered by his grandmother. But something in him remained restless, a yearning that could not be sated by the rhythm of daily toil. One night, after a vivid dream of a flame that burned without heat, Kale left the village with nothing but a walking stick and a question: what is the truth beyond truth? He wandered into the world with the innocence of a seeker and the stubbornness of a storm. The road ahead offered no comfort. In the forest of illusions, he encountered the whispering beasts, embodiments of doubt, fear, and pride. They did not attack with claws, but with temptations, illusions of power, riches, and recognition. Kale stumbled. Many times. He clutched false treasures. He believed he had arrived at the end more than once, only to find the goal retreat like a mirage. Yet in each fall, something within refused to die. He kept walking, broken, but not defeated. Then came the trials of stillness. He entered the valley of 10,000 thoughts, where silence itself was a roar. In this place, he was stripped of memory, voice, and even name. Days passed, or maybe years. Time twisted upon itself. He learned to sit with discomfort, to breathe through pain, and to look into the face of emptiness without blinking. One evening, when even longing had left him, Kale heard a sound. Not from outside, but from within. It was not a voice, but it spoke. Not a song, but it sang. He opened his eyes. Kale rose from stillness, not as the same boy who had left his village, but as one who had been unmade and reassembled by silence itself. The voice within did not give answers. It revealed questions deeper and sharper than any he had known. His journey led him into the wastes of reflection, a desert where the sky never dimmed and shadows whispered forgotten memories. Here, Kale was faced not with monsters or illusions, but with himself. 1,000 versions of who he could have been, all begging for validation. The achiever, the martyr, the wanderer, the judge. Each phantom pleaded for his belief. Each bore a truth twisted by attachment. Kale's greatest trial was not to defeat them, but to forgive them. And in doing so, to release the need to become anything other than what is. In that moment, the desert dissolved, and Kale stood at the edge of a still lake, not of water, but of awareness. He looked into its surface and saw not a face, but space. Pure, without boundary, without desire. He walked again. Slower now, not out of weariness, but understanding. Along the path, he met others, seekers who still fought shadows, wanderers who spoke in riddles, and children who laughed without knowing why. To each, he offered what little he had, a presence, a word, or silence. And then, one morning, Kale came to the Gate of Echoes, a towering arch of light and shadow that pulsed with a rhythm like breath. No one had ever crossed it and returned, for it marked not a destination, but a shedding. To enter was to die to all stories, even the story of seeking. He stood before the gate and wept, not out of sorrow, but gratitude. Every step, every fall, every doubt. They had not been mistakes. They had been invitations. Kale smiled. He stepped through. Beyond the Gate of Echoes, there was no place to arrive, no light to seek, no silence to chase. Instead, there was a vast openness, boundless and still, where time folded into itself and everything that had ever been or might be was held in a single, endless moment. In this space, Kale's sense of self gently unraveled. There was no separate I to hold on to, no story to continue, only presence. Pure, clear, and free. There was no journey here, no destination. Only the quiet realization that separation was an illusion and everything was already whole. After what felt like both an instant and eternity, Kale moved again. He returned to the village of his birth, carrying nothing but the simplicity of being. He did not return as a teacher or a guide, nor did he carry any answers to offer. Instead, he lived quietly, tending the earth, sharing warmth with those around him, and listening with an open heart. When others met his gaze, some felt a subtle shift within themselves, an unspoken invitation to remember their own path. Cale said little, for words were no longer needed. He was simply there, a presence unfolding naturally in each moment. In the end, when his time in the body ended beneath the twin moons, it was not an ending, but a gentle unfolding, a breath returning to the vastness from which it came. And through the hearts of those who had seen him, the way continued, silent, endless, and alive.